And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the OlimoLeague 2024 December Grand Finals. Again, this is a monthly tournament. Every single month, we do host essentially a finals here of the month for OlimoLeague, and we have now reached our top four. We have our top four players. We have 2 Protoss, 1 Zerg, 1 Terran. We have SHIN versus Creator, and we have Trigger versus Oliveira. Let's go. Also, as a reminder, these are best of 5s. These are best of 5s, not best of 3s or best of 7s. It was best of 3s quarterfinals into best of 5 semis into best of 7 grand finals. Oh boy, let's go, Poppy, let's go. So we have 3 series left, 3 series remaining, but they are longer series, Poppy, so we can sink our teeth into some more StarCraft. Let's go. Let us go. As up first, we have our ZvP, and game 1 is going to be on ley lines. As a reminder, when it comes to the format of this tournament, the first game is predetermined. First game is going to be predetermined. Game 1 in the semifinals is going to be ley lines, and then it is loser's pick from here on forward. Then it is loser's pick. Because of that, we're able to experience some otherwise typically vetoed maps in the map pool. We see a lot of these maps that are typically vetoed, instead forced to be played upon. Especially because you have loser's pick, you can pick some of these otherwise more favorite maps for certain styles that are otherwise vetoed. Not anymore. Not anymore. So jumping into game 1, also a big shout out to Ariel Mortis. Baby God, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we are jumping into our first semifinals and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines. We have the South Korean Protoss player himself. We have the blue Protoss. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Guyman Gladiators. He just took down Hero. It is SHIN. Here we go again. It was a very chaotic, very intense series between SHIN and Hero. Very back and forth is what I will say. Went all the way to the ace match. Creator, I will say, has a very different style. Very different style compared to Hero. Creator is often very much so mid-game oriented, even mid to late game as well. I'm sure we're going to be seeing at some point in this best of 5 Creator's build where he does go for an Archon drop opener. Opens up Twilight Council into a Temple Archives, into an Archon drop, into a heavy Immortal Archon composition. It was a composition that was supposed to be nerfed due to the Immortal nerf in the most recent patch. I believe like a 10% attack speed decrease to the Immortal. Despite that, still a very potent, very powerful build, and I'm sure we'll get there eventually in this series. Game 1, we'll see. We'll see if Creator goes for it. For now, we're settling in Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of SHIN. Meanwhile, across the map, it's going to be a gate expand into Cybercore from Creator. We're just going to be settling in. We can't make things down. We're settling into our openers. Also, welcome one and all to Ley Lines. Ley Lines is one of the more standard maps in the map pool. Has a relatively shorter rush distance by ground, but very defendable on 4 bases. Or at least, yeah, 3 to 4 bases. Specifically, there are ramps. There are ramps coming into these bases. This is a feature that is not always available here at the 3rd and at the 4th base location as well. Because of that, as long as you're able to keep up with army movement and army rotations, we have seen a lot of later games on Ley Lines as a result. We'll see if we can get there. Likewise, because the rush distance by ground, we could see either player be hyper aggressive into like a 3 base, like 8 gates all in from Creator, or we could be seeing like a 2 or even 3 base, like Roach base all in from SHIN. They are viable, they are available here. I'm pretty sure SHIN did go for an all in against Hero when they played on this map previously, if I remember correctly. So that is on the table. Meanwhile, we do have our Stargate opener from Creator. Standard stuff, Stargate opener initially into a 3rd base. And we'll keep an eye on the tech of choice from Creator. Meanwhile, SHIN is going to be chasing down that probe. In general, when we speak about the Korean Protoss players, Creator is usually the more standard of them. Like when I think of players like Classic and Hero and Nightmare, and Trap even as well, I do feel like Creator, he's, a little bit more macro oriented, a little bit more calm, a little bit more, level-headed compared to these otherwise more aggressive players. Not saying he can't be aggressive himself, but, less so than the others that I did mention. For now, Stargate has been placed a little bit further back, which is an interesting choice. Typically, you would throw down the pylon and throw down the Stargate on the right-hand side to reduce the time it takes to get across the map. You can see Stalker opener out of Creator. Based on the placement here, he's intentionally trying to hide that Stargate, and if you look at the rally, we see why. he's going to be banking up oracles. So the goal here is to try to make it look like it is not a Stargate opener, to make it look like it's some other form of tech, and to make sure that the queens are out of position and that the spores are skipped. So he's banking up. He has 1, soon to be 2. So cheeky maneuver here by Creator. This is actually very iconic to Creator. Not many Protoss players do this. This is more of a unique variation, but again, he's just trying to build up those oracles, and he's trying to gamble a little bit here. He's gambling, hoping that we skip spores. We can see that SHIN, he has 1 spore in the main. Despite that, so has 2 queens here at the on the right-hand side of the natural as well. Early Roach Warren. This is a very early Roach Warren. This is designed to defend against a Twilight Council opener or a DT opener. 4-minute Roach Warren. As you can see, this early Roach Warren isn't really going to do much at all against the Stargate opener. So already Creator, he's forcing some inefficiencies out of SHIN. A spore here in between the bases. This is designed to defend against DTs. Adepts are revealed, and Creator should just be expanding. Yeah, he should just expand from here. Oracles move out. You can see more links on the way. SHIN, he believes it is going to be a Glaive Adept opener. Jesus, 18 links on the way. So SHIN, he's being sold like a false narrative. Oracles ahead towards the natural. Spores not in position. Drones are going to go down. He's going to get 1, going to get 2, going to get up to 3. Oh, getting up to 5 drone kills. Oracles, they do survive. And SHIN, he needs to deny the 3rd base. At least deny the 3rd. But there's an Oracle to defend. Yeah, and very good positioning as well. So Creator, he gets 5 drones. And look at how many lings there are. Like, these all could have been drones. And SHIN is supply blocked. Oh my god, SHIN is supply blocked as well. He's in a very rough position. He has to get some kind of damage, pushing in towards the natural. But again, there's a force field. There's Oracles racing back home as well. Creator, he's ahead. He does have quite a comfortable lead here. And SHIN, he has to try to recover. 4 Overlords just now morphing in. SHIN from here has to re-drone, has to tech up into a lair, into an Evo chamber. We'll see how SHIN tries to recover here. Lings, he gets 1 probe. 2, not bad. 2 workers go down. It's something. Like, he needs anything. He needs anything for these Lings. As again, he was getting ready for either a depth defense or DT defense or anything. So the opener of Creator, it paid off. 100% did pay off. Back at home, SHIN just trying to resaturate. Evo chambers on the way. I'm curious if this is going to be melee or range. Lairs on the way as well. Again, SHIN is trying to recover. Lings, they get caught out by the stasis. Ay. And Creator, he could try to force field these Lings in. I'm curious how hard he tries to shut this down. Yeah, you can see him trying to body block. And Lings, they do make a dive for the left, and they will escape. Whew. They do get away. Now, what would make the most sense to me, +1 range, by the way, what would make the most sense to me is a 3-base all-in. SHIN, he knows he's behind. He knows he's behind, so, ooh, okay, he is not going for the all-in. He's getting a 4th base, and he's taking into a Spire. Now, this is a way to bounce back in this game. If he's able to get away with a hidden Spire to get mutas across the map, he can wreak havoc, he can bounce back, but he's also gambling quite hard here. He's relying quite heavily on that Spire, on those mutas. Meanwhile, Creator is building up for a move out. +1, Blink, they're finishing up in a couple of seconds. Creator, he's going to push out. And there's honestly not much at home to defend. SHIN, he's been heavily droning. He just rode up to 77. Oh my god, he just made 10 workers, 10 plus drones. He has no army. And SHIN's in trouble. He's up against the wall. SHIN just trying to buy time for Roach production. Roaches are on the way. He's got 3 Ravagers, soon to be 4. And mainly Ling. Creator is pushing in, gets a queen, gets 1, gets 2, blinks away. So far, good control here by Creator. Zones away the Ravagers, denies the Lings. So far, very nice control. Again, the soup is a lie. SHIN, he might be up in supply, but it's a very inefficient army. And Creator is going for the kill. It's going for the kill at this point, and there's just not much to defend. More Roaches are amassing. Lings, they go for a counterattack. They run into more stasis traps. Even more stasis traps going off. Ideally, Creator who wants to get on top of those Roaches. Oh. The Roach cannon is building up though. Shin, can he hold on? Being out more Roaches. Bays on the way. That should be for either Disruptor or Colossus production. I mean, they both have their place. Creator rotating around. Still no fourth base for Creator. Bear that in mind. A very delayed fourth base from the Protoss player. Again, very committed here on 3 bases. He needs to get more damage done. I assume by now he would have broken through the Roaches, but Creator has been very careful and hasn't taken too many risks. So he's allowing Shin to build up. As even again here, Creator, he's very quick to blink away. So again, falling back. Colossus production has begun. Blinks back. Biles a take down the Prism. No more reinforcements. Again, I do feel like Creator could have been so much more assertive here, but he has been taking his time. And he's still only on 3 bases. Shin, he's about to max out. Mutas, they have arrived. They're going for a counterattack. Creator, it looks like he has missed his window. Yeah, he's missed his opportunity. He's going to be forced back. Mutas, they hit the natural. Cannon is going to go down, but it's buying time for reinforcements. Yeah, Stalkers are warping in. Creator forced all the way back. Up. A little bit trigger happy there. Shin doesn't quite connect with the Biles. Creator not getting a fourth base. Is not going to be scouted again. A very late fourth base for Creator. He essentially looked like he was going for a 3-base all-in. I thought he was. I mean, I think he was. But he didn't do enough. Now, what I will say, though, is that I do actually still favor Creator. He still has a more efficient army. Shin, he might be max, but he's max with Lingbane Roach Ravager. Oh my god, that's 50 Banelings! I was gonna say, it's not the most ideal army, but with 50 Banelings, mate, you can make this work. Okay. Or can you? I mean, Banelings, they don't really trade well against Stalkers, is the problem. This helps, but I would love to see a Hydra then, to be honest. Like, Hydras into Lurkers is the ideal. 50 Banelings, is that enough? Stalkers, they're quite tanky. Stage Rats being set up. Stays on the Lings. Very nicely done. Catching out the army. Creator going to be rotating. There's no other form of tech, though. Not yet. And the force fields have a lot of potential. You see Shin trying to set up the surround. Coming in from behind. Nice, very nice force fields. Oh my god. The Banelings, they don't really connect. They get shut down. The fourth base is just for show. And Creator is still committed. They're getting stuck on 58 workers. 3-base saturation. Nothing at the fourth. Just going for the kill instead. Lings, they will bring it down. And again, Creator, he's all in. Creator, he's just completely 3-base all in at this point. He has been for a very long time, actually. Which is why I'm concerned that he hasn't been able to quite break through yet, but, I mean, slow and steady. Back. You know, I've misjudged the Tortoise. He could still win this race. Roaches, they push in. Nice force fields. Catching out some of the Roaches. A 4th Colossus has arrived. And it's all going to come down to the force fields. The Banelings, they do try to crash in once again to the force fields. They lock down the army. Banelings, they finally put on through. They do trickle in. Sentries are going down. No more force fields, but it looks like the Sentries, they've done their job. Most of the Banelings at full. We once had 50. How many left? 22. 22 Banelings. Still a pretty decent amount. No more Sentries, no more force fields. Colossus, they do kite back. Banelings, they crash into the wall of Stalkers. And the Stalkers, they stand strong. Against Stalkers, they can tank Banelings. And now there's 0 Banelings left. Creator once again rotating. Denying mining at the forward base. Mutas, they try to come in from behind. There's 3 Mutas left. Let's go. Yeah, and Creator, he can just keep pushing forward. Viper production has begun, but he needs time here to gather up energy. Biles that didn't quite connect. They graze the Stalkers. But again, that's 4 Colossus. And typically for Colossus, that's a bit overkill, but against Roach Ravager, I mean, they trade well, and GG gets called, SHIN, he gets broken, and Creator, he snowballs out of control, takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very good start for Creator, winding it back. If you remember, Creator, he faked a Twilight Council opener. He faked a Twilight Council opener, and SHIN, he fell for it. If you remember, SHIN, he got an early Roach Warren. He cut workers early on as well at around, like, what was it, like 38 or something? Like, cut workers very early, made a massive wave of lanes for nothing. Right, it was for nothing. It was a hidden Oracle-based opener instead. It hit a little bit later. It did catch SHIN off guard, and SHIN, he fell behind. He fell behind. So I do really like the 3-base all-in follow-up. I think that's a really good way to capitalize on your advantage. I was concerned that it was taking too long. Like, again, like, Creator, his execution of the 3-base all-in was very safe. Like, it was really safe play, like, really careful. It took a long time to really get going. He was, like, poking in, getting some lings here and there, pulling back. What I will say is that thankfully for Creator, SHIN wasn't really thinking further ahead. He was thinking in the moment, like, especially then and there. He was like, I need to survive. I need to make nothing but lings, roaches, and ravagers. Because of that, he didn't tech, or his tech was delayed. His hive was delayed, his infestation was delayed, and his vipers were delayed, more importantly. So even though SHIN did max out, he did fall behind when it came to the quality of the army, and by the time he got vipers towards the end, it didn't matter, right? It was too late. It was too late at that point. So again, SHIN, I mean, in a way, it's almost like SHIN, he got faked out twice. Because of the 3-base all-in, SHIN was terrified. He was just making nothing but Lingbane Roach Ravager. But Creator, he wasn't really being too assertive. So technically, in that situation, SHIN could have afforded tech. He could have teched up into a faster hive, or into faster hydras, or anywhere else, really. He had the freedom to do so, but he didn't really know that he had the freedom. He didn't know that Creator was going to be as passive as he was. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. We're now getting into game number 2. Let's go. Going to be loading into Frostline. Again, this is SHIN's map of choice. Fun fact, if you remember, when SHIN lost his game against Hero, SHIN also picked Frostline, which makes sense. Like this, there's a lot to get into. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing himself, but leading the series 1-0, it is a Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the red Zerg player going for an extractor trick. Representing Gaiman Gladiators, it is SHIN. Here we go. Now, if you weren't here for SHIN series against Hero, just to reiterate a little bit, welcome one and all to Frostline. Frostline is often vetoed in this matchup, but there are no vetoes here in OlimoLeague, so SHIN, he does pick it, does embrace it, and the reason why SHIN would want to go into Frostline, of course, is because of how exposed the 3rd and 4th base are. The 3rd and 4th base, they're very isolated from each other, very difficult to defend at multiple locations at once. Even defending your natural and your 3rd base can be quite difficult in this map, so aggression from the side of either player, to be fair, can be favored here on Frostline. Depending on who has map control, I mean, they can very quickly just snowball into a win. So the bases are just less defendable. They're less defendable here on Frostline. To make up for that, the rush distance spike ground is longer, true, but that hasn't stopped SHIN from going all in. So we expect aggression this time out of SHIN, but we'll see. Again, Creator was relatively aggressive last game as well. Relatively. Like, he still had a more careful approach to it, but, you know, all in nonetheless from Creator, true. It was all in for like 8 minutes. It was crazy. And did eventually max out with it. Here we go. And from here, we'll see if Creator goes for another Stargate. Once again, the pylon gets thrown down further back, so this looks like a Twilight Council opener. But, I mean, the last game also looked like a Twilight Council opener as well, and it wasn't. So, clearly, Creator, based on the pylon location, it could be another Stargate. It could try to fake out SHIN again, but we'll see what it is. Stargate once again. Okay. You have my attention. Again, typically when you go for a Stargate opener, the pylon is thrown down closer to the edge of the main to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map, but this is now the second game in a row where Creator, he has hidden the Stargate instead. Now this could be for a Void Ray opener, true, could be for a Void Ray first, into hidden tech, Or it could just be, once again, banking up those oracles and trying to fake out SHIN. We'll see. We shall see. As creator, he is just being active on the map. Making sure there's no hidden units, no hidden lings. Once again, another Stalker opener to hunt down and to keep the Overlord to scout at bay. And creator looks like another Oracle. Yeah, he's once again, just like the previous game, he is going to be rallying the Oracle here towards his own main, banking them up, and just like the last game, his goal here is to try to force an overreaction out of SHIN, which is what happened. Remember, last game, SHIN, he went for a 4-minute Roach Warren, he made a massive wave of lings, and SHIN fell behind early on. Did fall behind, as all those lings could have been drones, and the lings, they achieved nothing. But again, it was because he believed it was a Twilight Council. And, I mean, what are the odds that creator does the same thing 2 games in a row? This time he will reveal the Oracle, though. Okay. This time he does reveal the Oracle. He is going to hunt down the Overlord. Ooh, early Roach Warren at it. There we go. I was about to say that we should not be seeing a Roach Warren this early on again, and there we go. He does cancel. Eva Chamber. This should be plus on melee. Should be plus on melee into Ling Hydra. So this time SHIN is more aware of what's happening. So this should be a much more comfortable start for SHIN compared to the last game, where it was brutal. it was just it's a brutal start from SHIN in game 1. I mean, but now SHIN is keeping up with the Oracle, zoning it away. SHIN so far keeping up with the rotations. There's a Spore in both mineral lines. And we have our Twilight Council and our Forge being thrown down. Again, they should just be +1 and Blink. Should just be +1 and Blink here from creator, getting his 3rd base up and running, getting into triple Oracle. And now we have a much more standard timing with the Roach Warren. This was around the 440, 430 mark. Eva Chamber is done. Curious. SHIN, he did delay his upgrade here intentionally to throw down the Roach Warren. Again, I should say start taking. To get into his lair. So, we'll see what he does end up embracing. Adept move out. Denying creep. Extra gas is being taken. +1 range on the way, not melee. Okay, you have my attention. Are we going to commit into a very Roach heavy style? It's looking to be the case. Likewise, creator, he's not going +1 and Blink, he's going +1 and Charge into a Temple Archives, into Charged Archon, which means Roaches would be ideal in this situation. So SHIN, reading this well, he has not really scattered too much at all yet, but he did see the Robo. Did spot the Robo. Oh my, this I was not expecting. Okay, I was expecting him to be going to a more Roach heavy style. That is Infestation Pit. Now, if SHIN has correctly identified that this is Charged Archon, then Swarm Hosts are viable in this situation. Swarm Hosts, they are an option. Is he crazy enough to go Swarm Hosts here on Frostline? We'll see. Lings, they poke in, and he should see the reinforced. Yeah, he sees Zealots. He does spot the Zealots. Didn't see the Archon, but he saw enough. Okay, Hydra Den. No Swarm Hosts. Okay, we're calming down. Going for the Hydra Den. Phoenix? Phoenix on the way. Overseer does confirm. Gets eyes on all the tech. And with that, SHIN is at least aware of what's coming his way. Shouldn't really skip out on Roaches. A couple of Hydras are being sprinkled in as well. So for now, SHIN just going into Roach Hydra. And the creator, I'm curious if he plans to move out here. I mean, he did throw down 4 more gates. He's getting up to 8. 8 gates on 3 bases. The 4th base for creator is late. So this could just be a 3 base all in. 2 games in a row. I mean, I don't see a 4th. Building up a greater army. 2nd rover for double immortal production. Yeah, he's just fully fortifying himself. Okay, there we go. Now he's expanding. Again, it is a late 4th from creator, but he is looking to expand. Gee, he's so much money in the bank. Jesus. He had 1,000 minerals. And again, it does show how delayed the 4th base was. Shin confirms he does get eyes on the 4th. This should be a sign for Shin to now saturate his own. Like, Shin, he has intentionally been skipping saturation because he hasn't seen a 4th from his opponent. So Shin has been hyper-fixated on building up an army. No droning. It's so weird, like, both players have been adverse to expanding and actually saturating their 4th bases. Like, both players have just been hyper-fixated on building up in their own armies. 4th base is under threats, and Creator, I don't think he can save it. It's going to go down. I mean, we did mention at the very start of this game how exposed some of these bases are from each other, how difficult it is to defend your 4th, your 5th expansion, which is, I'm pretty sure, why Shin picked this map. And Creator is stuck on 3 bases. Nice stasis. Stasis goes up. Shin pushing in. Going for the gateways. And Creator, he has no splash damage. Fleet beacons on the way. That I was not expecting. Okay. Heading in towards that mothership. Immortals are trading relatively well. Good concave here from Creator. Locking down the army. Catching out some of the Hydras. And we can see the Creator, he is going to be able to force some of this back at least. Yeah, he's getting some of the Hydras. Roaches, they trickle in. Shin, he's going to have to back up, bleeding out too much of his army. And Creator holds. Creator, he does hold. It's one of those things where it was kind of like seeing Shin all in, a player that's also being all in. Like, because Creator wasn't really investing into defending his 4th base and expanding, Creator had a terrifying army. And defensively, I mean, I would favor either one. Whether it was Shin defending or Creator. And Creator, he defends, he holds. He holds very nicely. Like, I don't think Shin should be aggressive here. Like, his win condition should just be deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base and saturate his own. But that hasn't really been happening. He's going in. He pushes forward, he gets punished for it. Yeah, Roaches, they get caught out. Massive flank coming in from Creator, and he just shuts down the army. Roaches, they melt. 1 Immortal goes down, 1 Immortal for almost everything. And Shin, he just shouldn't be fighting here. He did get out of here. The Immortal count is too high. It's how many? 7 Immortals. And Creator, he wants to fight. He wants to engage, breaks out. I'm not so sure that Creator can push out into the map like this, though. He can get surrounded. Has to respect the army. Backs off. 1 Immortal goes down. So Creator retreats. And behind this Creator, he's getting into carrier production. The Sky Toss is on the way. And again, Shin, you have to calm down. Like, you're all-inning someone that's all in. Like, what's going on? So now he's joining. There we go. Now he's joining up. Now he's taking gases. Hive finally on the way. Now we have the Hive on the way. Now we have the Lurker Den on the way. Now finally Shin is thinking further ahead, but Creator had some nice fights, and now he can finally take a 4th base, or at least he can try to. As I mentioned before, the win condition for Shin should be to delay the 4th as much as possible. You see him responding with his army, getting in position. Does spot the main force of his opponents. Just the 1 carrier for now. Zealot right towards the south. Thankfully, there are reinforcements. Shin should defend, and once again, he sneaks up with the 4th, and he knocks it down. Yeah, Creator, he cannot hold on to it. He cannot save it. And again, the map is working against Creator. It is just so difficult to defend this 4th base. And the natural at the same time. But what's important here, even though Creator cannot expand, it's actually very similar to the previous game, where Creator, he never took a 4th base, it was just 3 base all in, but Creator, he maxed out over time. And the same thing is happening here, where Creator has a terrifyingly large army. He's getting into Storm, more Carrier, more Immortal, +1. Basically, Creator is going to be forced eventually into an all-in, but he's going to have just the most efficient death bull of an army. And this is why I worry for Shin, because remember, Shin took a long time to tech. It took a very long time. So his upgrades are late, his Vipers are late, his Lurkers are late. Shin is being outscaled, and Shin, he needs to throw away these Roaches. Like, these Roaches, they're hurting Shin more than anything. Sure, he does deny the 4th once again, but they're not going to help him here in the fight. Not against all these Immortals. Against such an Immortal-heavy composition, it's crazy. And Shin, there we go. Yeah, he's killing his own. Like, as we mentioned, these roaches, they're hurting him, so he has to kill his own roaches and refine his army and get more lurkers. Now, this is a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, you're not trading out your roaches, but realistically, you're not going to kill anything, right? You're not going to kill anything with the roaches, and if you kill your own roaches, you make sure that your opponent doesn't know what's going on. But now he's kind of been seen. So now Creator, he's a little bit more aware. Second Stargate into Skytos. I wouldn't be opposed to Shin even killing the remaining roaches, I'll be honest. Like, it feels roach, man. Like, they're doing their best. They want to be a part of the army, but the reality is that we don't need you right now. You're killing us. So the roaches, they get thrown away. And now here comes Hydra Lurker Viper. And the Immortals are exposed. We can come in with the Yoinks. Yeah, Lings, they collapse in. They take down one Immortal. Yoinks, they do get on top of the carriers. And the Hydras, they do knock down one carrier, the second carrier as well. Very nice pickoffs here from Shin. Takes down two carriers, and he's within range of the expansion. And it looks like he will force a cancel. Yeah, it does deny the fourth, and now Creator's all in. Creator, he's completely all in. And this army is now a little bit more lackluster. Now there's only one carrier. Oh, nice storms. Big yoink on the carrier. Carrier goes down, and the longer this goes on, the better it is for Shin. As Shin can remax, he can rebuild. The armies are isolated. Nice abduction. Getting another carrier. And up, they try to get another. This time, though, there's a slow zone. Yeah, slow zone will save the carrier in the end. Just the miles connect. Oh my god, the carrier, it barely goes down to the final Hydra. Carrier falls. Mothership goes ham. And again, Shin, you can see here he's just distracting the army. He's forcing the army to chase the lurkers while more Hydras are building up back at home. It's still quite close, though. The supplies, I mean. Oh, God. Gets another lurker. You can see Creator trying to catch Shin off. Trying to cut him off, even. Ooh, I think that was the last storm, though. Yeah, that was the final storm. There's two more Head Templar coming in. Nice abductions here on the Immortals. The lurkers, they go ham. And Creator's army just being picked apart. The abductions, the Vipers. Yeah, they are the game changer here. GG gets called, and Shin takes game number 2. GG. And again, you can see a very similar kind of a very similar outcome to this game, where in game 1, Creator was forced into a 3-base all-in. Same here in game 2, but the difference is that this time Shin was teching. This time Shin had lurkers. This time Shin had Vipers. Remember, in game 1, he was stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager. Like, again, a much more inefficient army compared to what he had here on Frostline. But GG. GG, well played. With that, we are tied up, but as a reminder, best of 5. So we have plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more to come, and now it is going to be Creator's map of choice. And we're going to be loading into... we're going to be loading into King's Cove. Interesting. Okay, we're going to be loading into King's Cove instead. Fun fact, there are certain maps that are not available here in this tournament. For those that are curious, OlimoLeague works with, instead of an extended map pool, it's just a smaller map pool instead. I don't know if you noticed, we have not casted a single game on Abyssal Reef or on Neon Violet Square because I believe they are not available for this month. Specifically, the map pool is smaller and they rotate the maps instead, so that's why we haven't been seeing maps like Abyssal or like Neon Violet Square. Instead, we've been seeing more of King's Cove. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the blue Protoss player from South Korea. It is, or being forced into a tied-up series, it is Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. Here we go. But I was specifically bringing that up because I would have felt like the more obvious map pick here would have been a map like Neon Violet Square or like Abyssal Reef. But again, there's a reason why we have not seen those maps at all here tonight, and that is because they are not allowed, not in the December monthly of OlimoLeague. But again, every week in the OlimoLeague, they rotate the maps. They phase out some and they reintroduce others. They still stay in the same map pool, but you know, they just mix and match the current maps available. Just as a heads up. So now we do have our gate expand opener. So far so good from creator. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of SHIN. Now, when it comes to King's Cove, as opposed to Frostline, well, we spoke earlier how on Frostline it is very difficult to actually establish yourself on 4 bases. Frostline just does not help you. Here, it is easier to set up on 3. And even though the 4th base is exposed, and that is true, the 4th base, especially here in the center and even here on the left-hand side, the 4th base is more exposed on King's Cove. Because your 3 base setup is so secure, then that makes it easier to take a 4th base because you can focus your attention at the 4th instead, as opposed to on Frostline where your 4th base and your 3rd base are exposed. So you have to kind of pick and choose, and you're kind of stuck between defending one or the other. Here, it is a little bit more secure than on Frostline. And oh my god, for the first time here this series, not a Stargate, a Twilight Council. The Overlord does not confirm.
Ready. Here comes a new challenger.
God, I keep forgetting SHIN is a Diva Enjoyer. God damn it. It's the shit. But something important, he saw the pylon. Very big scout. This pylon is very unorthodox, and upon seeing the pylon, he knows the tech has to be here, and he's checking. He should be checking here behind the mineral line for that pylon, for that tech of choice. So even though this was a very cheeky, very sinister location from creator, seeing the pylon means that SHIN knows everything. Yeah, you can see him here now getting in position. Twilight Council into Robo. Gases are staying in. This looks like a Dark Shrine based opener. Looks like DTs. SHIN he sees the Twilight Council, he sees the Robo, he has a piece of the puzzle, and speaking of DTs, yep, there it is. And SHIN, if he dips in a little bit more, he can confirm the Dark Shrine as well. But even not seeing the Dark Shrine is still a tell. What I mean by that is that he sees the Twilight Council, and you know what else he sees? It's not researching. He sees it is not researching, it's not going to start researching anytime soon, so he can deduce it is a Dark Shrine. So, again, he can still piece it all together based on what he does get eyes on. Back at home, he is going to be droning up, and we should soon be seeing a safety Roach Warren in a couple of seconds, and a safety Spore as well. As creator is building up. Where we reach the 4-minute mark, we should soon be seeing some tech here. I mean, again, if SHIN, if he's fully aware that he can actually skip roaches somewhat, or delay roach production. There we go, Spore at the 3rd, and we should be seeing a Spore here at the natural as well. There it is. Spore is in the mineral line, actually. So Spores have been placed. Roaches are a little bit more necessary against the Archon follow-up, but it looks like SHIN wants to cut corners and defend with purely Ling Queen instead. Prism moves out. Queens are ready here at the 3rd. Likewise, Queen here at the natural. Lings are in between the bases. And there's the more delayed Roach Warren. Then again, you couldn't get away with delaying it. Ooh, meanwhile, Creator just morphing in the Archons immediately. Okay. It looks like Creator, he's aware he got scattered. That's why he doesn't go in with the DTs. So he knows. So far, Prism is deflected. Very nice damage, very nice control here by SHIN. Adepts, they do threaten the shade. Ooh, but the Lings, they lock them down. Full surround. Adepts, they are cleaned up. Archons, they go for the Queens. Queens, they take a lot of hits. Archons, they're quite beefy. They do get one. But they try to at least. Nice control here by SHIN. He pulls up. Oh my god. He saves the Queens. They should be dead. Oh my god. Okay. The Queens are barely saved. Did I speak too soon? Oh, he wants them. Creator, he wants the Queens. Up. Oh my god. Doesn't quite get them though. Yeah, the Queens are barely saved. Again, nice control here by SHIN. Does rotate the Queens back. And behind this oh my, he's crazy. Wait, what? He's going for double Prism, double Archon drop harass. He's crazy. Astray, is that you? Wait, what? Okay. Double War Prism harass. This takes a lot of control, so best of luck to Creator. He's lost his mind. I'm here for it though. I like it. Okay. Show us what you got. This can either pop off or it can just fall in his face. Archons, they hit the natural. Drones are going down. Good trade against the Lings. So far, getting 3 drones and shaving off a good amount of lings. At the same time, can now focus here on the front lines, going for the 4th. Roaches are building up for SHIN. SHIN is on 3 base economy. Creator taking his own 3rd. Morphing in more DTs. Okay. Again, just a more unique variation of this. I mean, the 4th base is going to go down. The lair is done. So there is access to mobile detection. Creator still being active. SHIN, he gets supply blocked. We have 8 overlords on the way, going for the Spire instead. Bold move. Does respond with the Spire. Likewise, he does snipe the Observer. Both players calming things down. Now, on the one hand, I do like the choice of mutas because there are no Blink Stalkers, right? Like, that's the rationale. No Blink Stalkers, no Stargate either, which means no Phoenixes. So, honestly, mutas, they can pop off. The downside, though, is that Creator could just go for a 3-base all-in. And we've been seeing a lot of 3-base all-ins out of Creator. I expect on King's Cove that he doesn't want to, that he wants to expand and take a 4th. But if he builds up like a death bull amounts of Archons and Immortals, he can pop off. More gateways on the way. I believe that's going to be a 7-gate setup here from Creator. Does recall back. Recalls the Prism. Looks like an 8th gateway. Jesus. Okay. Getting up to 8 gates. Rotating around. Going to be pushing with his main army. He's going for the 4th. Going for the 4th expansion. We'll see if we can bring it down. We have 13 lings in production. The hatchery taking a lot of damage. We spoke earlier how exposed the 4th base is. And it looks like the base is barely going to go down. Yeah, lings, roaches, they cannot engage. Not into this kind of army. We mentioned it. Again, it's a small army, but very high tech. With so many Archons and Immortals. Ling, roach just cannot engage. Meanwhile, another Archon drop into the main. I believe the Spire has been unscouted. It was hidden here outside of the 3rd. Checking the vision. Creator, he has not seen the Spire. That is 14 mutas in production. SHIN, he may have lost the 4th, but he can pop over these mutas. Creator getting his own. Back at home. No cannon. No cannon at the 3rd. There is a cannon on the way at the natural at least, but the main base is exposed. So there is a lot of potential for damage here. SHIN, he can pop off. SHIN, he can pop off. So here we go. Creator does push forward. Mutas, they do hit the natural, and Creator, he's all in. He's just completely all in at this point. Is going to be pushing forward. Yeah, it does push forward. It's going to be 24, 25 probes going down. Creator, he does warp into the main. Yeah, the Prism comes in from behind. The double warp Prism micro. Send it. Keep going. And Creator, it's just all or nothing. All or nothing for Creators, losing everything back at home. Does waddle forward. Breaks the expansion. Hatchery's going to go down. Files, they do graze the army, but SHIN, he's having a hard time keeping up. And again, he cannot engage, not into 5 Immortals. Again, it's 5 Immortals, 9 Archons, the Death Bullets moving forward. Takes down the 3rd, takes down the tech. Well, the army, the main base, is a little bit more exposed. But Creator is going in for the kill. Here's a good amount of Roach Ravager. Takes out 1 Archon. 1 Archon falls. Reinforcements have arrived. SHIN, he's supply blocked. He can't actually make anything. Uh-oh. Yeah, it is supply blocked. Ooh. Queens, they do focus on the Prism. Prism goes down. But it looks like Creator, he may just have enough. Yeah, he has enough. He's pushing through. 1 Immortal goes down to the piles. But reinforcements, they come in from the main. They do come in. The boys are being pulled into Archons. Not like this. Roach 1 goes down. No more Roaches. No more reinforcements. And SHIN is just being cornered. There's no escape. There's no escaping the army. I get a crazy build out of Creator going for double Archon drop harass. It was insane. And it led into this. It led into a massive amount of Archons, massive amount of Immortals. The Mutas, they do race back home, but they can't push into these Archons. Not like this. Oh my god. Yeah, there are just so many Archons. Oh, it's going to be close, but GG gets called. The Mutas, they do nothing, and Creator, he does snowball out of control. He takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. It does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Creator can just close it out. Can he close it? One more game is all Creator needs. And again, I would say a build that I haven't really seen before. Just very Archon heavy, very drop heavy as well. Was able to, of course, apply pressure, was able to keep the Zerg player busy while he was able to build up back at home with Mass Immortal, with more Archons as well, and it led into an all-in. And this is just what we've been seeing game after game. I mean, not the same build, but the same kind of like, the same goal, I should say. Just like 3 base aggression from Creator. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. Do we see that again here in Game 4? I mean, we're going to be spawning into a much smaller map. This makes sense. Up next, Whispers of Gold. Let's go. Let us go. As this is one of the more smaller maps of the map pool. Much more smaller, much more aggressive as well. We'll see where our players take us. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing himself, leading the series 2-1 though. Unomas, one more game is all he needs to advance on to the grand finals. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Kamen Gladiators. It is SHIN. Here we go. Here we go. As from here, we do see SHIN attempting a hatch block across the map. Oh my god. So far, the Creator, he denies the hatch block. Oh my god. So far, he does deny it. Oh, but the hatchery is not thrown down. No, the drone. Oh my god, this is a rough start. Very rough start. The drone goes down, which means Creator, he can just freely expand back at home. This does disrupt the initial build here of SHIN. SHIN will expand, and this is going to be a hatch gas pull, but again, a very messy start here by SHIN, as he was hoping and attempting to hatch block across the map. Ooh, now this does mean that the initial gas and spawning pool, and even the hatchery, like everything else is going to be a little bit more delayed here as a result. And Creator, he does come up with a much more comfortable, much more cleaner start here in the early game. Whew, okay, so a better start here for Creator, as SHIN is attempting to recover. The pylon did complete across the map, so this pylon should go down, but SHIN is in a really awkward game state, and again, his hatchery is late. His hatchery is late as a result of this. So we'll see what SHIN can get done. We go. As from here, we're going to be settling in. We do have a handful of links on the way, but that should just be to deal with the pylon so that SHIN can eventually expand. Eventually. He'll get there. Likewise, Creator soon going for his tech of choice. Based on the pylon placement, I would imagine this is going to be a Stargate opener. Oh, never mind. Twilight Council is going to be thrown back a little bit further on the right-hand side, but Creator going for the Twilight Council. I mean, this makes sense considering the expansion pattern here of SHIN. The idea of going for something like Glaive and Eps, I mean, it could work. We'll see if he pulls out. We'll see if he does pull out. As so far, keeping 3 and 3. It looks like... never mind. I'm getting some mixed signals here. He is now pulling out. Somewhat. Just the one. Show us what you got. So do we go for Glaives or do we go for the Dark Shrine? There it is. Glaives are on the way. Still keeping one in that first gas geyser. There we go. I was a little bit confused. I was like, what's the plan here? What's the extra gas for? There we go. It does pull out. So it's going to be a 4 gig Glaive Adepts. And again, considering the kind of shaky start of Shin, there is potential for Creator to just snowball out of control. There is potential. Here we go. As we have the Overlord diving into the main. Gateways are finishing up. And checking the vision here, Shin, he did get eyes on the Robo. So he is somewhat aware. Roach Warren gets placed. Oh, this is a later Roach Warren. This is around a 4:20 Roach Warren timing. Nice, but is a little bit later here. Has to rely initially more on Lings. And we'll see if he can. We'll see if Shin can survive and buy time for Roach production. Again, the Roach Warren is late. Or it is later. Here come the Adepts, 4 at a time, 8 in total. Shin, he has no Sim City because of the expansion, because of the linear third base. It means that there's no wall set up. So Adepts, they can freely shape between the bases. Going for the Queen. Queen goes down, he gets one! And he's gonna get the other as well. Massive pick off, both Queens do fall. Making his way to the mineral line. Lings, they try to engage. Looks like they do get a decent surround on some of those Adepts. They get 1, they get 2, they get 3. And 4 Adepts going down. Not a bad engage here from Shin. But Adepts, they shaded to... Oh no, they shaded to the main. Yeah, it gets into the main base instead. 6 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. Adepts, they fall back. Once again, shading towards a third. Adepts, they do get surrounded, but not whole pick up here. It does say 4 of them. And Creator's just going to focus on as many drones as he can. Gets 4. Sorry, gets 10. Gets 11. Up to 13. 13 worker kills, and that's his brutal damage. Shin, he's down to 29 workers. Creator, he's on 45. Third base is on the way. And does Shin have any counterattack potential here? Sure, he has Lings, but does he have any Roaches? He has 1. He has 2 Roaches. Soon to be 1 Ravager. So the answer is no. He has no pushing power. He has nothing to harass across the map. Adepts, they get into the main. They are going to be cleaned up. Not a bad engage here by Shin. Cleaning up the Adepts. And Creator, he's going to be following this up with Immortals, with a Dark Shrine, and with Charge Ult as well. Now, his third base is exposed, and you could maybe see a world where Shin can bring down the third, but I don't see Shin breaking the natural. Not with this many Immortals, but we'll see. As Shin is making some Roaches, he has to make a tough decision. He has to make a really tough choice. Does he go for it all in, or does he try to macro out of this? I say a tough choice. I think the only answer has to be the all in. He is droning for now. He's taking gases. He's stuck on hatch tech. No lair. Which means no roach speed. Archon dropping on the Lings. Oh god. Oh no. Yeah, nice control. Again, I don't think Shin was really expecting this. Remember, there are barely any roaches, only 2, so the Archon pops off. Okay, there we go. The rest of the roaches do arrive. Zoning back the army. That was 10 Lings going down in 1 drone. For nothing. And his third base is getting up and running. Creator, he has his third at 60 probes. Shin is going to threaten a counterattack. I mean, again, this base is looking quite exposed. The army's not quite in position. Instead, Creator is moving out. Do we just go for a base? Do we just commit? Lings are forced back. Yeah, there's a warp in. That is going to be enough to defend. And here comes the main army. It is vulnerable to a surround. Archons into the main. Lings, they collapse on the Immortals. They force a recall. 1 sentry goes down. But Adepts are popping off. They're popping off in the main. 7 more drone kills. We can't afford these losses. More Adepts on the way. 5 more warping in. The Prism will barely escape. And again, that's still 8 drone kills. Like, Shin's still behind in the economy. Still has yet to recover. The lair's just now finishing up. And we have 4, soon to be 5, soon to be 6 Immortals. 6 Immortals, warping in more Sentries, building in more Archons. And Creator, he will soon move out. And again, today at least, tonight, we're kind of experiencing a Creator that I'm not used to seeing. But again, every game without fail, either there's just no fourth, or Creator has been forced into a 3-base all-in because the 4th base just dies over and over and over again. But it's just been 3-base aggression or 3-base all-ins time and time again at a Creator this entire series. Every game. I mean, it's been working. It's been working quite well for him. Yep, there we go. 3 more gates. No 4th. Basically, Creator, he made a choice. He could either throw down the extra gateways or expand. And he does go for the extra gateways. Probe is getting in position to expand, but I feel like the 4th base is going to be mainly for show. Creator, he can just commit. He can just commit. There it is. 4th base is going to be placed. And here comes the main army. Here we go. Knocking down the rooks. As Creator moves out, very nice around. SHIN catching out 2 of these Immortals. Does he get both? He gets at least 1. 1 Immortal does fall. Can he get the other? Just the 1. But still a very nice pick up here by SHIN. As there's now 1 less Immortal. And also one of the reinforcing Immortals is almost dead as well. Almost did go down. But it's still a terrifying army. And here we go. Creator pushing forward. Trying to get on top of those roaches. So far the Lings do a great job at buffering. They buy time. So have more roaches in production. SHIN, he's at under 3 base saturation. Well, they take down one of the sentries. But from here, Creator, he should be able to just break on through. And again, a big reason why Creator is snowballing out of control with this move out is the economic damage. How many drones did he kill so far? 27! 27 drones went down. That was the Adept harass. The Adept and the Archon harass. It just snowballs out of control. It's just too much damage. SHIN falling too far behind. And here comes the move out. Here comes the push. And SHIN was not able to recover. I mean, it all started with a failed proxy hatch, or the failed hatch block, and GG gets called. Creator, he takes down SHIN 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played again. Just a really awkward start for SHIN. As a reminder, SHIN, he was trying to go for the hatch block. He was denied it like 3 or 4 times. Because of that, SHIN, his his natural was very delayed. Very delayed natural, delayed spawning pool, delayed gas geyser as well. Just a really awkward start for SHIN. And Creator, after recognizing that, he responded with Glaive Adepts. I think that was just a really smart response out of Creator, recognizing how awkward, how difficult it would be for SHIN to defend. And we saw what that led into. 27 drone kills in total. It happened over the course of the game, of course, but the Adepts, they were wreaking havoc in the early game, getting 10 plus worker kills. I think it was 12 initially, 12 drones and 2 queens. And it just kept going, just kept racking up from there. And with that, Creator, he did snowball out of control, and that leads us into our next series. Oh boy, we have our first finalist. We have our first finalist here. Creator, he's going to be in the grand finals. He is waiting for his next opponent, and he's waiting for the winner of the lower semis of Trigger and Oliveira. Let's go. Let us go. Up next is going to be the lower semifinals. Trigger, he has been popping off. He's been looking so damn good recently, but specifically he's been looking so damn good in the PvP matchup. Oliveira, a lot of his accolades have been kind of off stream. We've been going over them on a weekly basis during the podcast, but if you maybe have been missing the podcast yourself, maybe you'd be unaware, but Oliveira, he's been playing in a lot of show matches. He's been, like, on a weekly basis, the Chinese scene has been hosting show matches, pinning Oliveira against Hero, against Dark, against Beyond, against Trap, against SHIN, against everyone. And for the most part, Oliveira, he pops off in those best of 5s and best of 7s. Like, Oliveira, he's been looking very much so in form. Again, I do feel like a lot of people, maybe they underrate Oliveira currently, but a big reason for that is because he's been, well, he wasn't a part of Home Story Cup. Right, he wasn't a part of Home Story Cup, and Oliveira, he isn't really the most active player in a lot of these online tournaments. Thankfully, though, he is active in OlimoLeague. As a result, he's made it here to the OlimoLeague monthly finals. And we should be seeing more of Oliveira in Master Coliseum as well. So I do look forward to that.